Hello Chunky, it's the voice of reason live from Lincolnshire. We're in Cleethorpes and we're asking the question, which side of history were you on? You on the side of locking people up and taking away their freedoms, or fighting against all the odds to tell people that they must rebel against what was now known to be lies? Not true. Masks didn't work. Lockdowns didn't work. Yet here we are on a beautiful sunny day in the middle of the great British seaside as people are going to get their fish and chips for tea. And we ask ourselves, will these clouds ever lift? And will we ever get clarity on the 2.5 years of propaganda that now have led to more deaths after COVID because of the lockdown than indeed COVID itself? I don't know about you, I feel totally vindicated. After 2.5 years, finally, the front pages are saying everything we were saying 2.5 years ago. To know that we weren't wrong and we were fighting for people to have freedom is so magical. And coming up next, we'll explain why this week is a turning point where we finally see the wood for the trees. Hello Chunky, and welcome to the east coast of Great Britain, a country that appears to be led by donkeys. The problem is, you see, is that we're told you must believe blindly. You must follow the pack and do as you're told. You must listen to the propaganda and the advice. Stay at home and protect the NHS, which is what we did for 2 years, which has led to cinemas going bust and now more people dying than died of COVID. We have 1,000 deaths a week now, unexplained and unrelated to COVID, but because of COVID. These excess deaths are, well, nowhere across the mainstream media, nowhere being investigated. But what is it? Is it not diagnosis? Is it people who have just given up and are heading for the nearest NCP car park? Or is it more sinister than that? As we look through the news last week, the most shocking of stories for me was the email that came to me letting me know that if you choose not to pay your gas and electric bill, they're now threatening customers of the Voice of Reason that they're going to go and get a warrant, come into your home, take out the meter and replace it with a pay-as-you-go, which means if you don't pay, you don't go and you freeze to death. Is this really the country we want to live in 2022? We turn to London and see our capital on its knees. It's in as much of a mess as the NHS and nobody's doing anything about it. Sadiq makes some kind of dopey statement saying that it's to do with long days and hot summers. No, it's not. It's to do with a gangland war of scum-sucking pond life who are literally eating our country alive from top to bottom. At the same time, 606 people arrived on Wednesday into Dover on dinghies that will now be allocated a lovely hotel room somewhere in our United Kingdom, and Prikstick Patel says, well, we might send them to Wanda. No, you're not. You're not going to send them to Wanda. You never were, because of the human rights of these people who say that even the standards of hotels they're being put in this country isn't good enough for them, which makes you wonder, well, where had they come from before? Our morning news is now heading towards 35 minutes, 70 of the top stories, and thank you. Thank you so much to everybody who's been tuning in. I've come away to the coast to breathe in the sea air, although you can't see the sea. It's about 700 miles that way. We should hope that the dinghies come into Cleethorpes, because at least that way they'll never make land. They've got further to walk than they have to cross in their lovely chaperone dinghies for £5,000 or £10,000 in first class if you're holding on to an oar. Tomorrow night at 9 o'clock, we'll be back with the phone in at alexbelfield.com, and thank you to you for your kindness, your love, your support. We're trying to get our heads around what's going on. The fact that they've now admitted that lockdown created a worse situation than what would have been had by COVID had we have just carried on and gone about our business and not locked down, not stayed at home and not wore dopey masks that didn't work. And what did we see this week? Tony Blair says, oh yes, put masks back on in public spaces and get jabbed. Get jabbed, yes, because of course Biden told us, didn't he, that if you get jabbed, you can't get it or pass it on, coming from a man who's now had 4 infections of the old Kung flu. Dottie's having the time of her life, don't you worry about that. I'll see you tomorrow from 9 for the phone-in at the secret VOR Club. And at the end of the day, despite being led by donkeys, I couldn't be prouder of what we've achieved and what we've become. And the fact that we stuck by our guns, knowing that we were right, and we've been on the right side of history. I love you. There's nothing you can do about it. This is the voice of reason.
Anyway, that's not why you called.
Did you hear that? That was the voice of fucking reason, wasn't it?
First, God created the heavens and the earth. Then God created man and woman. Lots of other things were created, destroyed, rebuilt. Then Alex Belfield was born. Now, the greatest miracle on earth has shocked even the most ardent non-believers. Alex Belfield.
can nibble an ice cream, suck on a banana, and kiss your ear roll all at the same time. I'm saying she's got a horse face. My God, these are people whose wives have got mustaches. Can you stop this bollocks? I hereby rule. Ooh, 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 ooh. I'd go to the seaside making sandcastles, not worrying about my fucking private parts. That is a London bus.
My back, fat and man boobs can wait till tomorrow.
I think I'll have a bath to warm myself up. I will keep my underpants on because I don't like looking down on the unemployed. Now clear off. I mean, what is this? What is this? I got it the wrong way. 300,000, we should have 300 fucking million at this point. Fat, thin, old, young, tiny meat, well hung, white, black, half chat, Greek shy, half Thai, hairy, scary, straight and bi, we'll have them all. These are my mystic balls. Alex. Undisputed national treasure. It's the shits 2021.
She's now getting a flew out in bikinis. Oh, me knockers have fallen off.
I think I might be going mental. Blue Peter, P.O. Box 69. Now fuck right off.
Chickens, make love. Half a quarter of a millisecond. Like, when they arrive, a chicken, like that. I'm not making this up. This is a fact. Fucking Google it. Before they already cock-a-doodle-do, they already cock-a-doodle-did.
Ooh, look, there's another bus with no roof on. We find guilty on all counts.
Very tiny little man penis.
If you would like to see a bell end, feel free to go to Talk Radio from 10 o'clock in the morning when Mike Graham will be broadcasting live. Yes, so they're saying it's not fit for... Fuck off. It was a very naive attempt to discredit and destroy. Wibbly wobbly, wibbly wobbly. Do press that subscribe button if you will, and press notifications, and we'll keep you entertained and updated 7 days a week. This broadcast was brought to you by I Don't Give Two Fuck Productions. Excuse me, oh God, they're coming for me. I better hurry, quick.